Good morning, this is Stuart Davidson here, your friendly QS. Now I've put quite a bold title to this live really, my spiritual journey into business, marketing, sales and closing. And a little bit about my story. If you remember some of the posts lives I was doing maybe last October, where I'd been a professional by background, a chartered quantity surveyor. Most of my life was spent doing technical work, and I built my business up over 10 years really, thinking about internal systems, technical work, making sure the service was of a good high quality. And that was fine for a while, and something kind of changed around about 29th of March 2019. Now, a lot of you remember that benchmark. It was the day when we should have come out of Europe, but we didn't, And I don't know why, but it was a milestone for my business and things started to drop off. We were doing really well, and there was no real new inquiries coming in. Some of the projects we had been put back. Some of the clients that were going to start projects decided not to because there was still uncertainty around. And so we went down and down and down and down, and I thought, well, I didn't really know what to do about it. So October, I didn't know. One of the things I did learn about myself is that I knew absolutely diddly squat about marketing and sales and what that actually meant, and really what the true essence of being in business, what doing business is. And so October, when I was, I decided to improve my knowledge, develop myself in marketing and sales and closing. So the first thing I did, I joined with the guys in India. As many of you know, I've got an office there. So I joined with them on a course with a guy called Rajiv Talreja. Now I did an 8-week course, marketing, sales, and that kind of set me on a bit of a journey. It was kind of a little bit of a spiritual journey as well at the time for me. And it kind of gets like that, I suppose, if you had a business and it's crashed or it's fallen, things are not going right, you get to a low point, you start to get in touch with yourself a little bit more. And so from there I started to immerse myself in marketing and sales. And as I thought, well, this is the thing, I need to get marketing strategy, I need to learn about marketing, so that I can brief sales teams, etc. It's something that I need to add to my business, or any business that I'm running, is the marketing and sales bit first. And I kind of looked at that from a cerebral perspective about strategy and learning and techniques and tools and all of that kind of thing. But then I started to surround myself with mentors, some really good mentors on business and sales, something I had never done before in my life as a professional quantity surveyor, freelance person to begin with. I suppose this is similar for any business owner. You're running a business, but there's always parts of your business or things that you don't know or you haven't dealt with before, and it's not until there's a problem or a crash or a difficult milestone, and goodness knows we've had a few, haven't we, over the last year or two. We've had Brexit, now we've had coronavirus. So things are changing, some big milestones, and sometimes it's a positive thing. Sometimes it can hit you hard if you're not ready, and I think a lot of us are not ready. Sometimes it makes you reflect on yourself. Where do I go next? What do I do? So for me, I started to immerse myself in marketing and sales, and I've been doing that for the last 6 months, and I thought I'd just check in with you just to give you an insight or let you know about my journey to date and how it's affected me, how it's changed me, how I've progressed or regressed as the case might be, but no, certainly progressed. So in the last 6 months I've been immersing myself in marketing, sales, getting the right people around me, good mentors around me, and people like Karen Inst and Jamie York, Matt Elwell, Rob Moore, and of course Kelly and Martin, all great mentors and people around me. And And what I'm beginning to realise is I've taken in so much information, you know, and there's the information in, then there's the information out. And I'm kind of beginning to feel that I'm still a very a real rookie, you know. I'm very clunky at it. I'm rookie, although I've taken in so much information. But one thing I'm picking up is, and I'm kind of beginning to feel it a little bit, is that marketing and sales is much deeper than strategies and tools, etc. It's a kind of, it needs to come from within you. And I've noticed that people that are very, very successful have got, it's within them, you know. And as Matt Elwell would say, is selling is serving, you know. And if you've got it within you that you want to serve people, you want to help people, you want to help people with their pain and come up with solutions, then in a way you need to be able to serve. You need to be able to serve, but you need to be able to sell. So selling is servicing and is serving, and these guys certainly have it within them. It's almost like if you're learning a new musical instrument, for example, say you was learning to play the guitar, you could read guitar books till the cows come home. You could read the guitar books, read, and you'd have the knowledge, you'd have the theory, but until you pick that guitar up and start holding your first few chords, you know, you kind of don't get it. And then it's a journey of learning an instrument, and I think you get better and better, and you can see the joy on accomplished musicians when they're playing their instrument. They've mastered the instrument, and it's kind of comes up from within them. You know, if you see someone composing, it comes up from within. And I feel that marketing and sales and running business is something that's got to be within, you know, something that comes without. So you kind of immerse yourself. And as I've been feeling, you know, there's so much learning and teaching around sales and marketing and closing that I'm feeling, I began to feel I'm never going to get all this. I'm never going to learn all this. There's so much to learn, so many tools, so many strategies, so many plans to do. And then I'm just getting to that point where I'm feeling, you know, it's more than that. It's kind of, you get that kind of, it's almost instinctive or it gets to a subconscious level, and it kind of draws up from within you. So I was kind of getting a bit despondent, I suppose, that I'm not getting it. This is going to take me ages to do. But I think it does take years, and it's something but you've got to practice. So theory, practice, teach. Theory, practice, teach. And then I thought about somebody whose stories and teachings and learnings that I used to follow and read about years ago. And this guy, probably I would say is one of the best salesmen, and it is Sunday, so I could talk about this. One of the best salesmen there's ever been. And after 2,000 years, people are still buying his services, buying his products and services and teachings. And so, of course, the guy was Jesus. And I used to study the parables of Jesus because I was interested in economics, because there's a lot around economics in those stories and selling. And he would say, and thinking about this sales, selling is serving, he would say, you know, the greatest among you is not who leads, but the him who serves. So the greatest one amongst you is he who serves. Selling is serving. And when you think about it, he was able to sell, you know, he was able to identify people's pain and come up with the solution. And yet the key thing is to learn from my journey. So I've invested quite a lot in my journey, in mentors around me and in teaching and learning so far. And it's a sacrifice, you know, it's a sacrifice that, you know, I put in quite a lot of money to do it, you know, and it is a sacrifice. But Jesus said to his followers, he said, drop everything. If you want to follow me, leave everything where it is, drop everything, leave everything and follow me. So it was a big sacrifice to follow that particular mentor, teacher, business person. And he told stories, and those stories still go on today. And in his power team, if you like, was fishermen, doctors, tax collectors, accountants. All sorts of people became his disciples, but there was a price, and he knew that they would only progress and learn and develop if they made a sacrifice. And it's very interesting, and I was thinking about business and how business is a vehicle to help people, and it's a vehicle to serve. You know, I used to look at business in other ways. How much profit can I make? This is going to give me a better life. But if you look at business from a perspective of selling, serving and marketing, it's a great vehicle because it enables you to serve people, come up with solutions. And also it's this thing about paying, you know, and cost. And the thing is, people appreciate things more when they invest in it. It's a bit like the disciples when they gave up everything to follow Jesus. They, it's if you invest in something, you're going to appreciate it and you're going to get more out of it. And it's a very kind of, human thing. We're all human beings, and when we're selling to human beings, and we all feel we have our different feelings and emotions and ideas and views. And so what have I learned on my journey the last 6 months? Coming from somebody who didn't even know what a client avatar was, didn't really know what a marketing strategy was, certainly didn't implement one, to where I am now. I think it's a question of, like, if you're similar, so if you're a freelance professional, or you're running a construction business, you're a director of a construction company, or maybe you're a budding entrepreneur, property entrepreneur, or you're a subcontractor, you're a director of your own business and you've come up from a specialist background and you're thinking about your business at the moment, and you're probably trying to do a bit more marketing, you're trying to put yourself out there a bit more, promoting your business, contacting your clients. Sometimes it can be, you can get to those points where you get a bit frustrated and you think, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm doing this and this and this and this, I'm not particularly getting anywhere. I think just be patient, just keep at it, keep going, keep studying, keep learning, get good mentors around you. And it's like with me, after 6 months, I'm almost like, I mentioned earlier, about learning to play a new instrument, or an instrument for the first time, or learning a new language for the first time. It's almost it's a thing you can't rush. These guys have been at it for years and years. It's not something you rush. It's something that you've got to dedicate and practice and practice and practice, and not just read the theory books, but get something inside you, which takes time. And I kind of feel where I am on my journey with my sales and marketing and closing journey is that I've just kind of got to grips with the first chord, and I'm loving it. I'm thinking I can play a chord, one chord, and I'm thinking, and I'm feeling that is something that is coming up from within me rather than a cerebral thing. And so I would say just immerse yourself in it, be patient. It will be frustrating at times, like it is to learn an instrument or learn a language or learn to play golf or something. It could be terribly, incredibly frustrating, and it's quite easy to give up. I felt that last few weeks for closing, for example. I've joined the Elite Mastermind Academy with Matt Elwell for closing, and I'm thinking, I can't do it. I'm trying it. It should be simple. I can't do it. And in myself, there's lots of mental processes going on, very, very deep, to close is to serve, and it's almost like I feel that I don't want to close somebody on a sale because I feel like I'm controlling, but it's not like that. You're finding out what somebody's needs are, what their pain is, and if you don't close, if you don't sell, that person will still have that pain, so you haven't served them, But I was getting frustrated that, no, and I still am. I'm still not very good at it. I'm making very, very small baby steps. But I kind of feel that I'm immersing myself enough and getting the right people around me enough that I'm confident that over the next few years, I'm going to get better at it. So I'm a bit clonky, you know. My chords are a little bit off key, but I'm not perfect. I'm long shot nowhere near competent. But I'm just feeling the beginnings of improvement, progression, and it's given me enough confidence to that you get perfect over time, and I think probably a lot of people say you never ever actually really get perfect, but it's about doing it, keeping on to it, keep going. And I think in these times, we're all locked down and maybe your business is under pressure. You're thinking about how can I promote my business? What other businesses can I do? Can I swivel? Can I pivot? You see a lot of people out there doing great things. They're saying, oh, this is we're serving more than we've ever done. And then you look at yourself and think, oh, flipping heck, I'm trying, but I can't quite get there because I'm having to think about it. So it's almost like learning a musical instrument, is that once you've learnt it, once you stack at it, and it could take a year, could take 2 years, once you get a reasonable amount of fluency, like language or playing a musical instrument, it's got to flow naturally. That's kind of where I'm getting to. You see people like Rob Moore, Jamie York, Matt Elwell. It flows very naturally because they've mastered their trade, they've mastered their instrument, if you like, and it's flowing naturally from them. And that's kind of where I want to try and aim for, is that it flows naturally. And I think it does need to flow naturally in terms of serving people, So the greatest servers in the world are the ones that have created a legacy, but it's really understanding what that serving is all about. And sometimes when people have a pain or a challenge, that they don't actually know how to articulate that, and selling and serving and closing and marketing is all about how can I articulate, how can I inform what I do, how I serve, and direct it to a particular person that has a pain or that wouldn't necessarily get out of that pain or challenge if you hadn't been able to, from within yourself, articulate what solution you could bring. So there's a lot of, I suppose, I didn't want to use the term education, but it is in a way. I mean, when you look at the way Jesus told his stories and his parables, it was about educating people around the pains they had, where they had a pain or a challenge, but they couldn't quite articulate that, So he was a master at articulating or helping them articulate where they were and what their pains were and what their solutions were, And his legacy has gone on for 2,000 years, and any salesman whose products and services are still being sold 2,000 years on, gets my respect. To be fair, So anyway, 6 months on for me, learning about marketing and sales, I'm kind of just getting to that point where, yes, I'm clunky. I kind of just scratching the surface. I have got a little bit frustrated at times, but I've put in enough sacrifice to feel that I want to drive forward and keep going and keep learning. I'm seeing it as learning a new thing, a new language or a new instrument that has to really get inside your subconscious before you really start to become fluent. Same with sales and closing and marketing. That's what I'm finding. That's what I'm learning at the moment. So I'm just really on the start of my journey, but it is a journey and I've made a start. And so I suppose I just wanted to kind of share that to kind of let you know where I was. So from a point of despair in October to now, I think it's, from a business perspective, I can't say the business is retaken off, but I certainly am changing, and I'm certainly getting a little bit more confidence about the future and how I can better serve people through marketing, sales and closing, and better serve people through business. So that might mean the business is improving where it is, It might take slightly different directions. I might start other businesses that would serve people better, you know, to serve through that. So, you know, I suppose what I would say is that if you are struggling in your business at the moment, if you are looking to promote your business or start a business, you know, just keep at it, keep learning, keep keep investing in yourself. Keep investing in yourself and get good mentors and guides and coaches around you, because there's a certain element of, it's kind of almost like an impartation, a spiritual impartation that you get from a mentor that you don't get from a book or a training course. And it's hard to articulate, you know, and it's all part of that learning process, because any new skill or learning that you do has got to get into you so that it becomes natural. A bit like if you're driving a car, you know, when you first drive your car or learn to drive a car, you've got to think about where the gear stick is, where you're pushing the clutch down, you know, the brake, the steering. You know, it's all kind of you have to think about it a lot, but then after a while it becomes natural. And I think that's probably where you need to get to. But it is frustrating at times, but I would just stick with it. You know, I'm going to stick with it and keep going. So that's where I am at the moment. So I'm reasonably upbeat, having gone through, you know, some challenges, I would say, over the last year. And I suppose, you know, with the world the way it is at the moment, I'm surprisingly optimistic about the future, you know. And I think it's probably because I've been investing in myself. I've been learning, I've been developing, I'm learning things I didn't know before, and so much so that they're starting to become a little bit subconscious and just a little bit, you know, fluent. So yeah, so there you are. I hope that's been really, really helpful to you. And I would say, you know, keep your chin up, be optimistic, invest in yourself, get good people around you, and let's look to a really good, positive future and a way out of this crisis. So this is Stuart Davidson, your friendly QS, signing off. See you in the next video.